Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Before I begin today, a big thank you to Andy for the virtual gift voucher. Huge thank you my friend for the support, it is truly appreciated, thank you. But on to today. Today we discuss the current status of the Death Guard and the ambitions of their Primarch, Mortarion. General spoiler warning to begin, as we will be discussing events from across the current lore, so you have been warned. But with that said, let's just jump straight in. Okay, so with the release of the Death Guard Codex and the upcoming rework of Dark Imperium, not to mention Dark Imperium Plague Wars, I thought it's about time we took a look at the current situation of the Death Guard. Now, the biggest thing that many of you who may have bought the current edition codexes will probably have noticed is that you really don't get much information at all on just what's going on right now. It certainly feels like our lore fixes will definitely be coming from the novels going forward. And yes, the occasional campaign supplement, but that heavily depends on if your faction is involved in that particular war zone. However, that said, there still remains fascinating pieces of information within the codexes which can guide us as long as you're paying attention. Now, the Death Guard, more than any of their fellow traitor legions, owe a great deal of their present day success all the way back to their retreat from the Siege of Terra itself. As all the traitor legions fled from Terra, it was the Death Guard alone who truly made a fighting retreat, making their loyalist cousins earn every inch of ground they re-won. The sheer force of will of Mortarion holding his legion in check throughout the scouring. As all the other traitor legions crumbled from the Imperium's vengeful wrath, or to the resulting infighting, or even in the Traitor Legion War, the Death Guard did not. Their legion structure remained in place to this very day, a testament to Mortarion's unshakable leadership. Even the first company under Typhus, the Herald of Nurgle, despite his differences with his Primarch, remains captain of the first company, and when the full might of the Legion is called to war, Typhus always heeds the call. Now, the success of the Death Guard is not merely a matter of holding the Legion together, because it's actually growing in size. In one of the most interesting insights in the latest Death Guard Codex, we are effectively told that the Death Guard are actively recruiting. Now, of course, this isn't quite how it would operate for a loyal legion or chapter. There isn't "we need you" posters of Mortarion all over the place. But as the Death Guard were held together so well during the scouring, they still have all the infrastructure in place to create new Marines. Unlike their fellow traitor legions such as the Night Lords, for example, who the mere thought of recruiting more Marines is a decades-long process, for the Death Guard, it's just a matter of finding the bodies. So aside from the occasional renegade chapter joining the fold, each and every world that falls to the Death Guard, with its survivors rife with plague and sickness, is then subject to a systematic planet-wide search for potential new Marines. Thousands upon thousands of once loyal Imperial citizens find themselves swelling the numbers of the Traitor Legion Death Guard. The Plague Surgeons, one-time apothecaries of the Legion, again unlike their Traitor Legion kin, have retained their roles within the Legion, except with their brothers now so resilient to damage, medical needs on the battlefield are more or less obsolete. leaving the plague surgeons to focus on recovering the corrupted gene seed when the sons of Mortarion fall, or even harvesting it from fallen loyal Marines. All this combined has the Death Guard Legion stronger than they have ever been before. Mortarion has always desired to have each of his 7 companies number 70,000 warriors, which means if he were ever to achieve this goal, it would mean a legion force numbering nearly 500,000 warriors. And let's be real here, the Death Guard is already one of the most powerful forces in the galaxy. If, and that's a big if, it does reach those kind of numbers, we really have to start asking the question, is there anything that can truly stop Mortarion and his Legion? Now yes, Abaddon and the Black Legion have countless numbers themselves. However, it does have to be said, many of the Black Legion warbands are Black Legion in name, if not in deed, whereas Mortarion has the Death Guard completely under his control. So that's what's going on behind the scenes, at least for the Legion. So what of their immediate aims? Well, we know after the rift exploded across the Imperium, Mortarion defeated his brother Perturabo in the War of Rust and Ruin, claiming the world of Dysactis in the name of Nurgle, and taking the territory known as the Scourge Stars, claiming a region of space within the material realm, Nurgle becoming the envy of the rest of the ruinous powers. Now these Scourge Stars became the perfect position for Mortarion to launch his invasion of Ultramar, which became aptly named the Plague Wars. And well, this is where things get interesting, because although we don't expect any major changes in Guy Haley's upcoming rework of the novel, we just don't know for sure. As it stands, the Death Guard began absolutely decimating Ultramar, Typhus and his fleet destroying 3 major star forts, while Mortarion himself oversaw the invasion of multiple worlds. And this strategy was working incredibly well. In fact, only when Guilliman himself returned to the 500 worlds did the Imperium truly stand a chance of halting the Death Guard's advance. The 2 brothers coming face to face upon the world of Ajax, which we spoke about in detail many moons ago, which was actually one of my first videos on the channel. But we'll definitely be discussing it again once I get my hands on the new reworked version, so we can dive into any possible changes. Mortarion, with the aid of the greater demon Kugath, ambushed the Ultramarines Primarch and had him on the verge of death, saved only by the intervention of the Emperor himself. Whether the aspect of a living saint or the Emperor himself, none can say. But it has to be said, it was enough to terrify Kugath and Mortarion combined, which makes it pretty clear to me it was most definitely the Emperor of mankind. And this all ultimately leads us to the upcoming new novel, Godblight, which in the lore as it stands now, Mortarion is forced to retreat due to the other Chaos Gods launching an invasion of the Scourge Stars, jealous of Nurgle's newly won territory in the material world. And as always with the ruinous powers, the Great Game is their biggest failing. If they can stab one of their other gods in the back, you can rest assured they will do so. Now, I have to be honest, I do believe it is highly likely that we will see at least some change to this lore when the new novel comes out. How much, we will just have to wait and see. The synopsis on the back of the novel states, "The paths of Roboute Guilliman and his fallen brother Mortarion bring them inexorably together on Ajax. Once a jewel of the Imperium, the Garden World is dying, as the plans of Mortarion to use it as a fulcrum to drag all the stellar realm of Ultramar into the warp come to deadly fruition. While Guilliman attempts to prevent the destruction of his kingdom, Mortarion schemes to bring his brother low with the Godblight, a disease created in the cauldron of Nurgle, made with the power to destroy a son of the Emperor. Primarchs clash on the ravaged landscapes of Ajax, the gods go to war, and the wider galaxy balances on a knife edge. As something powerful stirs in the Sea of Souls, only one thing is certain. Whoever wins this last great clash, the repercussions of victory will echo down eternity." Now, while I certainly don't foresee a Guilliman death, I do have a sneaky suspicion there's going to be something big and unexpected happen. It's quite clear from that synopsis that we will see a continuation of the Emperor's situation, with something big stirring in the Sea of Souls. We know the Emperor is awakening, becoming more active than at any time previously since he ascended the throne. There certainly seems to be a penchant for big hints and teases within the mainline novels of late, and I think this one will certainly be no different. So if Mortarion and the Death Guard do retreat to the Scourge Stars as is currently written, I believe there will be a very, very big reason they do so. And I think this is all leading to Mortarion confronting his father once again. But as always guys, what do you think? With the Death Guard currently embattled within the 500 worlds, and with the timeline being brought back for these to be present day events, do you think Mortarion will still retreat to the Scourge Stars due to an invasion by his fellow ruinous powers? Or are you expecting a change to the currently established lore? Could perhaps the Godblight have more up its sleeve than expected? As always, leave your thoughts in the comments below, I love to read them. Huge thank you to all my subscribers, your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.